Hi guys. Okay, today we are going to interview my great friend Ysabel Hilado. She is a designer from California, and I'm super excited to talk to her because she's designed me a few outfits, and I'm so excited to share those with you guys. Like, she's incredible. And yeah, let's get into it. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
A little about myself. There's a lot. Do you want me to start like how I first found my passion or just in general?
Anything, like, I just want to get to know you. So you're from Southern California, right?
Yes, I
Where
am born.
from?
Yeah, I'm born and raised here. I live in Artesia, California, so it's about maybe like 25 minutes away from downtown LA with no traffic, but
Yeah.
with traffic it's about 45 minutes an hour.
Mhm.
And when I was a kid, I think my earliest memory was cutting up my Barbie doll's clothes. And I was probably about 5, and then my mom would get mad at me because, you spend money on those clothes and then
Oh,
your kid's gonna cut it
definitely.
up,
You're like,
so
"Mom, I'm making them better, okay?"
exactly, and I think I still have that Barbie doll, it's, like, up in my sewing room,
Oh, that's
and
so
so I
cute.
just keep it there just for memories, but, I guess in elementary school, I would always pick out my clothes the day before, and I would really care about what I would wear,
Mhm.
and then in middle school, I remember there was one day where I was like, "Oh, I really wanna figure out what I wanna do with my life." I know, and as, like, a middle schooler, it's like, that's kind of a weird thought to have because at the time, you're so
Oh, I feel like
yeah,
all girls are, like, worried. They're like, "I gotta
yeah,
know."
exactly, and I was, like, thinking about the people around me, I'm like, I wanna be the one to figure out and make a name for myself by the time I'm a bit older, so that's when I decided maybe I wanna do fashion because there's people around me, they wanted to be, like, lawyers, doctors, nurses, all that, and I'm like, none of that appealed to me at all, and
Yeah.
so in middle school, that's when I started to learn how to sew,
Mhm.
and I first made an elephant sweater. I don't know if you saw that on TikTok, but
Mhm.
I made this cute little elephant sweater. I felt really cool, walking around the halls. I'm like,
Like,
"Yeah,
I made this. Like
exactly." And so from there, as a middle schooler too, I wanna have money to go out to the
Mhm.
movies, go to the mall, maybe buy, like, food when I'm out with my
Oh, yeah,
friends,
for sure.
and so that's when I started to learn how to make money sewing, which was when I started my little pocket tee business,
Yeah,
and so I sold pocket tees until maybe my sophomore year of high school,
that's super cool.
and I stopped all that, and I was like, I really wanna pursue something more with fashion, learn more technique and how to make clothes from scratch. And also, around that time, as I was discovering myself with what path I wanted to go to with fashion, I tried to get involved as much as I could. So that's when I started a fashion blog. Back then when
Yeah,
fashion blogging was at its peak.
that was, like, the thing. That was, like
Mhm.
mhm.
That's literally what you do now,
Yeah,
which is so
I guess
awesome,
it
and
is.
not a lot of people do that, which I admire you for that.
Oh, thank you.
And so I started my own little blog, and I was like, what kind of content would I put out?"
Yeah.
So I focused more on DIYs, some lifestyle, and mostly, like, outfit of the days. So I'd always take pictures and, do a lot of, like, crafting, and I just really like the concept of showing people
Mhm.
how I did things from start to finish.
Oh,
And so from there, I think that's when I learned how to really build and connect with other people. 'Cause,
mhm.
we like there was a bunch of websites back then, like, I'm trying to think of that one website. You can get featured on there. It was like
Oh, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Lookbook,
Mhm.
but I would always try to submit my stuff there. But as a blogger,
Mhm.
or when you're building up, it's hard
Oh,
because you don't
definitely.
know if vlogging is gonna be my thing because this is just too much. I do love to write and stuff, but maybe I'll just focus more on, like, design and DIYs and all that.
You definitely have a knack for it, like, you're
Yeah,
extremely good at
I
it,
thank
so
you so much, but yeah, I started doing all that, and eventually I would make my outfits for all of my school events in high school. So,
Oh,
like,
that's so
for
cool.
prom,
Mhm.
homecoming, I even graduation, I even made my outfit the day before. I
That is
wasn't even sure if I
so
was gonna do that,
awesome.
but I did.
Mhm.
And, um, as I would and then I made a goal for myself to make a piece every month. I
Yeah.
think that's, like, my junior year, and then the opportunity for Project Runway came,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
was crazy. How
Mhm.
that came along, I was in bed after doing my homework all day, 'cause
That
at
is
high
so
school, as you think about it, we were there for 8 hours,
Oh, yeah, I know.
and
We were exhausted after.
that
I
is
look
the
back
perfect
and I'm like, I don't know how we did it.
I really don't know, but I was, like, laying in my bed, and I got an email 'cause I was part of Fit and Fashion Club.
Okay.
We were able to get emails from them, and that was a school that I was looking at going to,
Yeah.
and one of the emails that I got was they were looking for teenage fashion designers to be a part of a show, and I was like, "What? Is this like Project Runway, but
Like, is this
for
real?
kids?" I was like, "Okay, sure." So, I remember that night I was, like, filling out the application, and I put it on hold because I was like, I'm too tired. I want to go to sleep." The
Yeah.
next day, I went to school, and then my dad left me a voicemail, and he said, or he forwarded me a voicemail, and it was from a casting director for that show. And I was
No
like, that's
way.
weird. And then in the email or in the voicemail, it said that they saw that I was filling out the application, which is kind of scary. I was like, whoa, they can
You're like,
see
that's a little creepy, but
a
okay.
bit creepy once you think about it nowadays. But they saw that,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh," because I kind of forgot about it when I was at
Yeah.
school. So then, the casting director was like, "Oh, do you have, like, a time to chat so I can tell you more about the show?" So we
Mhm.
talked a bit, and yeah, they were pretty much looking for people who really knew for at least teenagers who knew how to sew, do some basic stuff. They asked
Yeah.
me if I knew how to do like, how to sew a button, how to make a simple pattern,
The
all that
little
stuff.
yeah.
And so they really asked me if I wanted to continue with continue on with the application, and so I ended up submitting a bunch of my designs. I had to make, like, a little audition video. I don't even think I made that audition video public on YouTube. It's still
Oh,
there. I watch it from time to time, and
that's so funny.
it's crazy to see the growth.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But from there, that I think that interview process was, like, 3 months,
Mhm.
3, 4 months
You're
maybe,
like I'm not sure.
and
Mhm.
yeah, and I think on my 17th birthday, I remember I came home from school, I took a nap, and my dad's like, "Oh, you got a call," and it was for a callback,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
pretty much to go to FITM because the audition was at FITM, pretty much to go there and be and pretty audition in person pretty much,
Yeah.
and that was really big for me, and I was like, "Wow, this is the best birthday gift ever." So, a month later, I went to the audition. Um, it was really intimidating because there was a bunch of teenagers my age, and they had racks of stuff. I
Uh-huh.
even have a picture, like, my rack was really small. It
Yeah.
just had a bunch of simple ready-to-wear pieces because I like styles that are very simple, yet they stand out with a certain detail. Like, with your top, I love the
Oh,
whole
I'm obsessed with it. That is
Mhm.
I think it might be my favorite.
Oh, that was my favorite too. So I had items just like that, and it sucked because like I was comparing myself to the other kids around me, and I was like, "This is, I don't know, this is too much."
Yeah.
But I ended up getting it a month later. They flew me out to New York and everything, and that's when.
Coolest experience.
Mhm. And when I was there, I think it was I think it was just a wake up call that yeah, I think I want to do fashion design for real because I didn't last long on that show. I only lasted for like 2 episodes, but just being around those yeah, but just being around those people and also
Yeah.
like, meeting people in the industry like Tim Gunn. Have you ever watched Project Runway?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just meeting Tim Gunn and being around those producers and, like, just the people who make that show come
Like,
together.
and
Mhm. I'm like, "I think this is something that I wanna do, fashion design." And I was just inspired by my other castmates that were with me because a lot of them went to either a school that had fashion design in the curriculum or an art school, or they were able to have sewing teachers and all that. I didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
Growing up, a lot of it was just on my own, and I was a self-taught designer prior to college,
Yeah.
so everything that I knew was from just YouTube and Pinterest and all of that stuff.
Trial
And
and
so, yeah, it was still like an accomplishment for me just to be there.
mhm,
And so senior year, that was pretty much what I was on. Everyone knew me. I was on Project Runway, but that was kind of my goal. I wanted to make a name for myself, and that's what I did. And let's see, after high school, I got rescinded from a college that I wanted to go to.
mhm.
It literally a month before school started, they told me, "Yeah, you got an F in chemistry. Yeah,
You're
you can't come here." And I was
like,
like, "Oh my gosh," because in in high school, we're told, at least at my school,
mhm.
I go to a predominantly Asian I went to a predominantly Asian high school,
Yeah,
and a lot of us are taught like, yeah, you need to go to a 4 year and then you're gonna work.
yeah.
And that was kind of like the mindset I was on. And so when I got rescinded, I was like, oh my gosh, this ruins my 4 year plan, you know?
Things to
But
do.
I think from there, that was like my first wake up call of adulthood. Like,
Yeah,
not everything is going to
go your
be
way.
perfect,
Mhm.
right? So that's when I had to find a community college to enroll in, and I had to really look into other schools to go to. So I did community college for 3 years, mostly got my general education out of the way. And I think without community college, I wouldn't have done a lot of the things that I did.
Yeah.
Like I was able to have a lot more free time, pick classes more on my own terms, what I wanted to take.
And like what you want to do, you can focus more on, like you're not so concerned with all the classes and all the things, like you can focus on multiple things.
Exactly. So that's what I loved about community college. And so I was able to make my first collection and all that. I was able to build connections with people in my classes because they were kind of on the same boat as me, trying to figure out what other schools they wanted to go to.
Mhm.
But I ended up going to the same school that rescinded me. So I go to Cal State Long Beach now,
Oh, that's
and I
awesome.
love it there. The people there are amazing. College has been it's been interesting. It's been interesting, but I can't wait to be done. I have about 2 more years, I think. Yeah, 2022. That's when I'm done.
When is your new line coming out?
My new line. So that's the thing. I am still in the process of kind of just rebranding everything. I feel like
Mhm.
being at home all the time has definitely gave me time to think more and reflect back on the stuff that I want to do better on. Because if
Mhm.
I'm going to attach my name on something, I want it to be something that I'm proud of, not just something that I made in like 10 minutes and I want to profit off it. Because what I've learned over the years is that it's not really about the money for me. It's
Mhm.
more for how creative I can be and how I can push my work to be the best.
Mhm.
And even though the money is nice, like I want to be I want to be able to design and create things that I know people will love.
Oh
And
yeah.
so yeah, right now it's just the rebranding process. I have like a list of things I need to buy and to help me in that, like
Yeah.
business cards and like thank you cards, gift wrapped, all of that. So I don't know how long it's gonna take. I do have a list of things that I want to make and sell and all that. Because right now, manufacturing is kind of difficult to deal with
Oh yeah.
because of all this COVID. And even though I'm close to a bunch of manufacturers in LA, a lot of them will ask for minimums, and you need like, oh, a minimum of like 100 pieces for us to make this.
And you're
Hmm.
like,
Yes. And then you need like a line sheet, and you need all this stuff that I'm still learning in school and all that. So I'm just like, I'm just going to do like small batch items for now and then eventually branch out.
oh yeah.
So I'm thinking hopefully by the end of this year, I'll have something going
That's
into
so.
next year. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm trying not to rush into anything because I know how it is to put out stuff that I know I could have done better on, you
Oh yeah.
know?
Well,
So
that's the hard part because it's like you want it to be perfect, right? It's your name, and you're like, I need it to look a certain way and have a certain quality. And
exactly.
so, do you think that like being from California, do you think that's kind of influenced your style or your fashion or what you create?
I I think so because a lot of California were super laid back, and I think a lot of the influence comes from you can be at the beach
Hmm.
1 hour and then you can drive an hour away and go back to the city.
Oh yeah.
And so I think a lot of my style is versatile, and I like pieces that I can just interchange depending on the season. Honestly, we don't have seasons here really. It's either it's hot or it's cold or in between. Does it snow out there?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
we get big time snow for like half the year or more.
exactly. So we don't really get that. We have to go out and get that. We have to go all the way to the mountains and get that, which is cool because I do have clothes that are ready for that. So
Yeah.
so living here in California, I really like how I can just have a wide variety of clothes and use them for different things. And I feel like that also plays a lot into my design aesthetic. I want things that can be worn multiple times as well. And so when you asked for separates, I really love that because you don't have to wear that top and those shorts together. You can just interchange them whenever you want to wear them.
What things like would you say kind of you've run into or like that you've learned along the way kind of in your journey with fashion?
Mhm. I think we talked about it earlier, but how I value more creativity than the money,
Yeah.
you know? And so that plays a big part in how I plan my future moves and
Mhm.
all that.
Yeah, for sure. What's your best piece of advice for somebody who wants to get where you're at since we've kind of been talking about that?
Yeah, the best piece of advice I have is, hmm, I think it's just to be unapologetic in everything that you do because there are people who are going to judge you for what you do, and they're going to probably judge your content and be like, oh, this person's not going to make it that far. I don't know why they keep trying. But you have to be confident in every move that you make.
Yeah.
And that goes for honestly any industry. And that's how people make their way up. You have to be confident in all your moves because if you just go kind of like halfway, it's,
Mhm.
let's see, if you go halfway in your moves, it's like not going to pay off in the long run. You have to really be willing to put yourself out there, make those connections, and but at the same time you have to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to change who you are just to get that certain connection
Mhm.
because it's not going to be genuine. You want to be able to have your personality shine of throughout each step of making it up there.
Oh yeah.
And also, the road is not pretty. So, the road to just getting where you want to be. Exactly. And you have to kind of embrace each step and take in everything that you've learned.
Where do you see yourself going from here?
From here, well, right now, just rebuilding my brand. And then eventually, I'd love to like reach out to people that I've been wanting to work with people that I've worked with in the past. So, definitely, I see you in something in the future for sure.
Yes,
And
that would be great.
exactly. And then right now, I just want to be done with school. And by the time in 2 years, I'll be I'll be 24. I'll be done with college. I really want now the thing is I want to make a name for myself by the time I graduate college. I want to be able to have something to lean back on because I know I've noticed a lot of college students once they graduate, they're like, "Oh man, I don't know what to do now."
Yeah, like
I
where am I going?
exactly I don't want that to happen to me. So that's why right now I'm trying to consistently push to do the things that I love so I can do it right after college and to make it like a seamless transition.
Yeah.
Because it is tough to be a full-time college student and
Mhm.
also trying to build your brand and your business and all that. So once I'm out of college, I want it to feel like, yeah, I've been doing this forever, which I have been doing it forever, but I want it to be able to like sustain me for the long run, you know?
You want this to be your full time, all the time job and be live off what you love doing, which I think is a great thing to strive for.
It is. It really is. So we just gotta keep working. That's pretty much what it is.
One day we'll do it.
Right. We will. We will. I know we will.
All right, everybody. I think that should be good for today, but it was really, really great talking to you, Isabel, and I'm super excited for people to check out your website and your Instagram. Her Instagram and her Twitter and her TikTok and her YouTube are all at Ysabel Hilado, and then her website is isabelhilado.com. Make sure you check her out. She's incredible, and we've loved having her on here, and I really, really appreciate you talking to me today.
Thank you so much for just reaching out to me months ago, and then now we're finally working together. Just thank you for everything.